Alright, I'm gonna give a little idea on this diversification that I want to do. I had about, thank you, I had about 155,000 in one of my accounts, and now she's down to like 151 and a half. And it's not because I do any risky investing or anything, mostly just the S&P, which the last couple of days went down. So usually about every percent, the whole net worth goes down about $2,000, because we got whatever 220, 230 in stocks. I don't remember off the top of my head how much, but she's been going down. So last week's been a little tough, and I actually came up with this bad boy. My voice keeps cracking too. Came up with this bad boy about a week and a half ago, but didn't do any pulling the triggers. So it's only changed 2%. Nothing to bring the house down on. Now, most of it's been 75% in the S&P, 25% in the NASDAQ, because we're hedging technology, even though the S&P is like 40%. And I think, I don't know, maybe 6 to 10 companies, all big technology ones. So new splits, this is what's going to be going forward, not changing the current investment. Besides, I want to liquidate some individual ones. Oh man, I don't really know that talking with finances, but I'm gonna liquidate some individual ones, and then I really want to mess with index funds and maybe crypto if she dips down quite a bit. I actually just bought about $1,500 of crypto, first time ever, about a week ago. Well, crypto kind of follows the technology market, so that's down, and it's more than 2% because it's more volatile. That's what I get for playing with fire. I've held off this long, and but you know, stock market. So I initially wanted to be like, okay, it's NASDAQ, S&P. I was going to compare crypto with international, emerging, and commodities just to diversify more, because the majority of my stuff is in the S&P and NASDAQ. So we got a whole bunch of suggestions from a couple videos, couple friends, and I haven't put any money into this at all, and I haven't even looked at it and compared it to the S&P. But was do anything crazy, right? I wanted to look at the year-to-date, the 1 year. This is only going to be a month apart right now because it's November, but it'll give a little thing about where it was in January, I guess, if it went up, down, whatever, stuff like that. These two are really close. This is a 4% difference. If I look year-to-date, there's 10% and 4% here. I don't know, maybe it signals something to me. This is going to be the first step of the analysis process. I didn't even put T-bills in here. Or, you know, where you get exposure to it through like the iShares, because yeah, they look terrible overall, but I guess they do good in recessions, but I'm not that certain of a recession. So we'll revisit that if it goes into a large correction or a recession. But for now, we're looking into healthcare, utilities, real estate, which is surprisingly lower than I thought. Technology, which of course boomed, but there could be a bubble there. Who knows? International funds, which look to have done pretty good, along with the S&P here. Dividend stocks, which I need to understand more about, like the actual return versus what the dividend's paying. But I don't have a date on here. I think this is 1 year. 1 year, but what's something? I mean, growing returns. Here we got some gold and consumer staples here, which are gold has been crazy, but consumer staples, you know, more of a slow burner. Anyways, I have friends who swear by dividend stocks, but they always go down. Usually, this one's up. The last couple of the aristocrats, but the Vanguard one has been doing better than that one. Over the last 50. Well, this one didn't have that one. No, I got dividend. This staples. My bad. This is a very big switch here. This is new. It's only been around for 1 year. Anyways, the ones that my friends are in, the dividends make sense, but the stock has been going down for the last 10 years, for example. Now, obviously, this one is not. That's at 29% over the last 5 years. So it's growing 6% a year, which is, I don't know, good depending on what the dividend is. If it's 2%, it'll be pretty good. But I necessarily don't know. I don't know much about the actual return and how much money you make from dividends, although I like the principle. Now, staples and stuff, international, both of those I think would be a good fit for me because they're not going to go down as much, and I don't have a whole bunch of faith right now in the S&P and the market just keep rallying after there's been so much investment going in and no profit turning yet, which we're in a playing around phase, and like the innovation, the very beginning for the innovation is the S curve, I believe that they say for AI. So there's going to be some growing pains along the way, but I feel like people are going to get too angsty. Maybe that's what I'm doing right now. Who knows? All I know is I want to get out of some individual stocks, and I just want to go into indexes besides a couple small ones or a couple few. I only have large individual companies in the portfolio. I want to keep a couple of those, some in tech but not really in AI because I'm a little scared. And then two other ones we're going to look at, iShares and Invesco, just some index funds for defense because the global attentions have been relatively high. So maybe throw a little bit in those. I'm just going to dollar cost average it all out. And then just call that good, Still pretty young, so we got plenty of time. I just feel like I need to diversify more. Just so if there is a recession, I got to have more cash. Because right now we got about 20 to 22 in cash. But I like to have over 30 just so we can pounce on it and then also be more diversified. So if there's other ones that dip further, such as the S&P, for example, because they're heavily invested in AI, we can pull from like the international or defense and then throw it in the S&P so we can ride the upside. That's the picture perfect way. I'm just giving an update. I usually don't really show numbers and stuff. Well, I guess I do for the monthly, but I don't know. I don't usually show the method behind the madness because there's not really any method to the madness. I'm just looking at averages and long-term gain. So that's about it. I guess I'll see you in the next one, and we'll see. I'll keep you updated, I guess, with what happens. So, peace.